Hello everybody, happy 2023, happy January. So welcome to my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster vlog. In this vlog, I plan to read 4 books over 4 months and then scratch those books off of my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster. Remember, this series is not sponsored. I don't care if you get the poster or not, but I always link it down below just in case you're curious. I am not affiliated with the company in any way. I just got this in 2020 and decided that I needed to read all of these books, not through the vast lifetime that I'm going to have, but right away. So, yep, let's get into it. So I am already halfway through my first book, which is Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. Now, I didn't really want to read this book at all, but it's on the poster, so I have to scratch it off, you know? There is a lot wrong with this novel, just from its premise alone. So obviously, it is a white man writing from the perspective of a Japanese woman turning into a geisha in the mid-20th century. It is very mansplainy in that aspect. Like, you can tell this guy got his degree in Japanese studies, has probably been to Japan, and is trying to explain every aspect of their culture in the most mansplainy scientific way. Like, it's very like, and here is what no theater is. This is what a kimono has significance for. It's just like, I don't need to learn that from you, guy, white guy. And there's another aspect of this book that it's just coming off really, really wrong. So I have no idea about the actual things that happen in Japanese culture, or if this is actually a thing that they say and do, but they say that the main character has a lot of water in her personality. It's phrased weird. It just means it's like a connection to the elements, and it makes her personality a certain way. So she describes herself as that, and that makes sense to me. Fine, it's like a metaphor, it's just how she sees herself and her family. Every other character, whether they know it or not, will say, "Ah yes, main character, you have water in your personality." Why would they know that? Why would they phrase it the exact same way? Why would everyone talk to her like the same metaphor that she gives? It's just very clunky. It's a very clunky little thing, and I feel like there was just lost in translation. Like, I'm sure there's actually an elemental personality thing. Like, I know some cultures base stuff on blood type. They base stuff on what time of year you're born, what year you're born, stuff like that. But this just seems, it's so clunky. It's just a weird, clunky little bit. And the thing that makes the main character special in this novel is that she has gray eyes, like blue-gray eyes. That's so gross. That's like, oh, white people love blue eyes, so I'm gonna make her have blue eyes so she's special. Like, don't do that. You can just have her be a unique person without this, like, Mary Sue style fanfic different colored eyes thing. Yeah, so far I'm just very bored by this. I'm not really into it. It's just making me want to read books by actual, like, Asian women, Asian authors, Asian voices. Because, like, why would I want to learn about a culture through this one guy's perception of it? Like, I'm sure he's getting, like, the art of geisha technically right, but, like, just as a whole, all wrong, just from his viewpoint. So I'm just getting through this. I'm sure I'll finish it very soon because I'm reading it at work. So look forward to my final review soon and the whole scratching and everything that's in my usual videos. Okay, so I finished Memoirs of a Geisha by Arthur Golden. I'm only going to be giving that one 2 stars. It was just a really dull book. It was very, like, white man explains Japanese culture, and I know that there wasn't the proper nuance that I would have gotten from an own voice novel. I don't understand why this was such a huge phenomenon. Not a lot actually happens. It's mostly just a feud between 2 geisha houses, well, 2 women who are training geishas together. It's their feud, and the main character is one of the girls involved in that feud, and she's trying to chase this man she met when she was a child. I don't know. It was just very boring, very dull, and all the metaphors were too much. And the main character spoke basically only in metaphor. That was just, it was too much, and it just made her personality a bit dull. So yeah, my first poster book of the year is all scratched off, so stay tuned for next month. in February for the poster reads. I don't have much to say because I already started and finished the book. I read the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. That book is the second book in the Chronicles of Narnia series, but I believe it is the most popular one. It is also the one that got the film in 2005. And I ended up giving it 3 stars because it was a very simple, to the point children's fairy tale, and a lot of it was very, very similar to the movie. The movie was actually very well adapted and made some changes that I actually preferred. I was actually surprised that the language was really, really simple because I know that C.S. Lewis was a contemporary and colleague of J.R.R. Tolkien, so I thought that his words would be just as flowery as J.R.R. Tolkien's, but he's very to the point, so it's definitely that his fantasy stories skewed way younger than Tolkien, who I think wanted to capture adults and children alike. And it is very predictably Christian. I knew that already, and so... Hey, just wanted to quickly finish up the ideas that I was trying to say in the last clip. I was trying to say that I knew that it was an incredibly Christian novel going in, so it was really, really easy to pick up on the extra subtle messaging of the book regarding Aslan and all of the other, Christian elements of the novel. I also wanted to say that I thought it was really, really creepy that in the original novel, Aslan stands on just 2 legs. In the film, he's a fully rendered CGI lion and as such walks on 4 legs, which makes more sense to me. The idea of Aslan just essentially being a lion man on 2 hind legs is frankly disturbing, and I don't want to think about it. I would prefer my Liam Neeson lion, thank you very much. So yeah, just kind of an anticlimactic read this month. It was a simple children's read, and it was 3 stars for me if I didn't say that already. So on to next month!
Hello everybody, happy March. Can't believe it's actually finally March. So for this month, for the poster, I am reading Moby Dick by Herman Melville. The audiobook I have doesn't differentiate chapters, nor does it tell me how much time I have left in a chapter. So this is just 24 hours straight of just whale facts, so that's exciting. I'm 20% of the way through Moby Dick, and so far Ishmael and Queequeg are married, so good for them. And they only just got onto Captain Ahab's ship. There's a lot of just rambling. Like, there was an entire chapter where Herman Melville was having a fake argument in his head because he thought that all the readers were like, oh, whalers aren't good storytellers, whalers aren't important. So he literally made little quotes of what we were saying so he could argue against all of them. It was very hilarious. I wasn't even thinking any of those things at all, but he's like, oh, I know you. You are totally trying to come up with these arguments in your head. And I wasn't. I was just trying to get through the book. So anyway, yeah, we were only just on Captain Ahab's ship. I think we're only just about to meet him. So, yeah. The writing is very, very pretty. I really like the writing, but it's just the content of the story itself is not something I'm into. I mean, I don't need all of these whale facts. I don't really care. I get what the story's going to eventually be, like I know enough of the story, but it's just very bloated with a lot of just whale facts. So you could tell Herman Melville really did his research, unless he was actually a whaler. I don't know. I don't really care. So that's my update for now. I really don't know if I'll have that much of a different opinion at the end of the book, but we will see after the clips. We did it. We finally did it. After 10 days of listening to the 24-hour-long audiobook on double speed, I finally finished Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Now, I was right in my previous clip. I don't have anything else new to say about the story, but I finally made my way through it, and I am ending up giving the book maybe 2 to 2.5 stars. It was pretty good for what it was, for the approximately 35 chapters of actual story, compared to the 100 chapters of just whale and sailing facts. Those were interesting in of themselves because I'd never heard anything about it before, but then again, I didn't really care to read them. I wasn't that interested in all of the whale facts, but I can't mock it too hard because that's a lot of passion, and Herman Melville was actually a sailor, so good for him to write all of that down in this giant magnum opus of his life. And all the themes of Moby Dick were still there. I learned about all of them from different things. I learned about it first on Arthur because they kept comparing a character to Captain Ahab in Moby Dick. And then obviously Futurama is my other point of reference because is there Mrs. Queequeg? So, not the best reading experience, but once again, it is one of those books that I wouldn't have tried to touch were it not for the poster. So it's giving me a bit more reading experience, and that's it. So I will see you next month for a reasonably shorter book in April. See ya. Hello and welcome to the April section of the vlog. If you can't hear or tell, I am incredibly sick right now. I caught a cold from my coworker and it hurts to talk and I feel like crap. So we're going to be concluding the video with this awesome fact. So for the month of April, I chose something a little bit shorter than my previous books in this vlog because, hey, I needed to finish the book in a few days instead of listening to a day's worth of whale facts. So I read Animal Farm by George Orwell. Super quick concept for a book. It stated its message very, very clearly. It is about a group of animals on a farm revolting against the farmer and his family, kicking them off the land and taking the land for themselves. They dubbed the land Animal Farm. They then write a bunch of rules about the farm, and then eventually the pigs start to take over, become the leaders, kick anyone else out who isn't following their rules. They are reading the rules differently than they are stated. Many animals die, many animals fight. It is all one big metaphor for the obvious. It did an incredible job doing a little fable of what could be in an animal farm, and I think that the line, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others, is an incredibly poignant line and a very true line. The writing was very simplistic, but I think it was more just about stating the facts of the tale rather than adding anything flowery to the tale. I think the words and the story were enough, and it was very evocative even with the very, very simple writing style. It is definitely one of those stories that should be taught to high school students and could make a very effective high school essay. I just didn't have to read it in my high school, but I think it did a very, very good job stating its message and being very clear, very powerful, and very good. I gave it 3 stars because it just is what it is. So that is it. That is it for this 100 epic reads of a lifetime reading vlog. It's quite a mouthful. I have read 60 books off the poster, so I have 40 more to go. Yay! Oh my god! So stay tuned at the end of summer for my next reading vlog. Thank you so much for watching, following me on this journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.